Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the video, I just want to say I did finish the week with 30 wins, 2 losses for a win rate of 93.75% for the week, so I can't complain. I had a great week. I think even one of the 2 losses I took, I really didn't even need to, so my stats would have been higher, but it is what it is, so I'm not going to complain. I had a great week. The market was very volatile, and hopefully next week will be as well. So if you're not in the room, you can find a link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. These take a long time to make, and I do appreciate you liking it and subscribing. So with that said, you can go on Twitter and you can see the post on the timestamps of the calls. That's why I type them out, so I have timestamps, so that way people can't say that I'm saying it after the fact. I'm typing them out, so there's a timestamp for proof. Because online people are just they don't believe anything, so I don't really care. So anyways, so Monday, let's see, in the trade ideas room, what did I say Monday morning? Monday morning, which is what, the 9th, 8th, yeah, the 9th. Let's see, Monday, which day was this? The 9th, right here. We had a big gap down, so I didn't post that many at open because of the big gap down. I don't really like that because we closed up here around 411.50ish, and we opened up down here at 405, so we gapped down almost 6.5 points, and you can't really make a good pre-market levels guess when you have that much down. You drop that much, and you just have to give it a few minutes to let the first candle open and see how it does and adjust from there. That's why I'll usually wait the first candle out, even if there's no gap down, because the first 2-minute candle ends up being the most erratic. So therefore, I like to wait it out. But anyways, in the trade ideas room, I said SPY puts under 403, which is what I had down here. But I ended up grabbing it at 946. So SPY puts 404 puts at 946. Now this is where I did wait the first 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes was a green candle, even though I said it was down here. But if you're in the room and know how I do things, if I'm looking down, if I'm looking at a short and it pops up, I'm going to use right here as a place to short. Now if I'm looking at calls, let's see, let me back up. Okay, let's say I picked calls for, I'm looking at calls over 413 right here, and it dropped. I'm going to use this area on the first candle right here. If it breaks out over this area right here instead of up here, I'm going to take it. So you got to understand that I readjust based on that, especially on the opening, after the opening candle. So as soon as it got below this 404 area is where I grabbed the 404 puts at 290, and they went from let me see, what it do? It went from 290 to 237 in that drop right there. Then I ended up grabbing them again at 10 o'clock, which is right here. Yeah, right here. Okay, I caught this move right here. And then it popped back up, and I caught it again right down in here. So let me just make sure my mic and everything's working. For some reason I just get a feeling it's not. Yeah, it is. So yeah, I caught it right here at the 404, and I sold into that little drop, and it doesn't look like much, but you're talking 404.5, almost a dollar drop right there. So, and I'm buying in the money, so they're going to run a little better, so that's why they ran from 290 to 337, so like almost 40 cents, so 40 cents plus. then it popped back up. And what SPY loves to do is that it will drop, come back up, and then it will drop again. It likes to do that where it will kind of like chop in a way, but like they'll fake out in both directions. Like this way, it faked out a breakout, then it came back down, and it faked a breakdown, it came back up, then it faked it out again. I mean, this is what's been happening a lot lately, especially the first 30 minutes or so. But if you end up seeing it, end up watching it, then you end up realizing that what the games are, and you can kind of like predict it, I guess you could say. But yeah, when we got right here, this little drop, and I sold me, you're getting 40 cents out of SPY, out of SPY. You take it because normally you don't get that much of when it's not volatile, you don't usually get that much out of SPY. So when you can get 40 cents or something out of it, you get to take it, because 40 cents is equivalent to SPX's $4. So because SPX runs 10 times faster, so you always gotta like think of it and look at it in that perspective. That 40 cents, if you're up $4 in SPX, you'd be stupid not to take it. So yeah, take that, pop back up. When it popped back up, I reloaded. Right in here in this candle, and I took the same ones. The 404 puts at 282, and they went from 282 to let's see, 333. So another 40 cents plus, almost actually 50 cents. So you could take it and pop back up. And I grabbed them again at 1023, which is probably right here. Yep. So it caught this move, bounced, dropped, it caught this move, then it popped back up. See what it's doing here? You have a drop and it pops, drop, pop, drop, and it keeps going lower and lower every time. So I grabbed it here, and we grabbed it again right here. But this time I grabbed the 403 puts, and I got them at $2.55. They went from 255 to 465 on that drop. So then I ended up switching to calls at 1207, which is right here. Now you guys see what I mean. You could have got it down here too. I mean, when you start having where it's starting to round, see how it's making like a round right here? It's making like a U shape. When you start seeing that, that's when you can start using it. I mean, you could have got in right here at the 40160-ish area, 40150. Could have got in right here, but I waited and got in up here. You can see these candles right here. This is where I ended up getting in. The only bad thing is I got in right where the 200 EMA was. I probably shouldn't have, but luckily it did work out. So I had the SPX 4070 calls at 785, and I caught this little pop right here. So they went from 785 to 1090. But like I said, you see how you get this candle right here, these couple candles right here, then you got these couple candles right here. You could have got in either here or up here. So either way, it doesn't really matter. I got in up here. I played it a little more safe. SPY has been still selling the pops. SPY hasn't had that ridiculous day all week. I mean, yeah, it's had some big gap ups, then it sells off, or it dumps and then it has a V rally. But SPY usually has that one day every week where it has this ridiculous run. Like if you look over on the hourly on the left, you can see right here it had this ridiculous run. This is what I'm talking about. If you look back, SPY has at one day every week, except this past week, where it just has a monster day, like right here. I mean, it does that once a week, but this past week it didn't do that. So we had gap ups and it would sell off, or we'd have massive dumps and we'd have V rallies, but nothing, no strong day whatsoever, as far as just ripping $12 and not looking back. We haven't had that. So we probably will get that this week because we didn't get it last week. So that's what I'm anticipating. So anyways, let me back this up a little bit. I grabbed the calls right here. Then I end up grabbing, let's see, 4,000. Let's see, yeah, I grabbed 4,000 puts at 1241, which is right here. Now, I put in because I grabbed them at 1241. I grabbed the SPX 4,000 puts at $9, and I put Lotto and I put Chasing Small because we had this massive red candle right here. So I said, screw it, I'm chasing it. So I'll get used to hearing the 4,000 puts because I played them all week long. They were gold all week long. Price just ended up working around the 4,000 level on SPX and the puts I just end up using. And it's still, like I said, it's still a sell the pop market until it's not. Right now it still is. So yeah, they went from $9 to $12.80 in that little dump right there. Then I ended up taking puts again, the 4,000 puts again at 133, which is right here. So we caught this right here, bounced back up, rejected the 200 EMA, which is this light blue line, and I ended up grabbing it. Let's see, 133 right here. Right when it rejected, I grabbed it. And I probably waited down here a little more, right down in this 450-ish area. And I grabbed the 4,000 puts at $9.60, and they went from $9.60 to $13.20. So that was a nice little move on that. So 6 wins, nice day. Had some pretty decent gains on Monday. Then Tuesday, let's see, what was Tuesday? What did I do? I think I took my first loss. Yeah, I did. Let's see. Tuesday pre-market. Netflix calls over 180. SPY calls over 405. I'm trying to get everything. Okay, 405, which is this batch of candles right here from the day before. This is a little consolidation area. You had this massive, well, yeah, I would say massive. Well, I could say 400 to 404. Yeah, that was a $4 run. The first, pre-market 7:30 to open, and this is why you need to wait out the first candle, because look, it was a huge trap. It got to the 405 level. And even though it did get to 405 and it did break, and I know a couple people in the room did take the 405 calls and they played that dollar, but this is why I wait, is that they end up being a fake out. So when it's a fake out, it's easy to see the first 10-minute candle. That's why I just avoid it, because I don't want anything to do with these fake outs. And when it faked out and started to turn red, that's why I ended up grabbing it. Actually, I think, yeah, I actually waited for the second candle. But sometimes, once in a while, I will take it as soon as it turns red. I know one time this week I did do that, and it worked out really well. But, yeah, you're talking 400 to 405 in an hour and a half. That's a $5 run pre-market. So, plus, we closed at 398. We're up $7 already, so gotta account for that. And usually when you have the big gap ups, it ends up being a sell-off at open. Or if it's a big gap down, everyone piles in and puts at open, and they just squeeze it a little bit. That's why you see these really erratic candles the first 10 minutes. You need to sit them out and let them not get FOMO, and just wait them out. You don't want to get, it's not worth the risk to play the first 2-minute candle 99% of the time. And certain tickers are like, for instance, if I'm looking at Tesla, and Tesla, I have a point where I'm going to grab it. I will grab it the first 10-minute candle no matter what it does, because Tesla and Roku and Baba, and they just go. They go and they don't look back. Unlike like Microsoft and Netflix and Apple and Facebook, they all fake out. So most of them do. So yeah, I took let's see, 400 puts at 9:30, 9:43, which is right when it broke below this 10-minute candle right here. I'll blow it up a little more so you can see. As soon as it broke below this area right here, actually I probably took it right under here. Because I usually wait and take it underneath the first 10-minute candle, which is ORB, open range breakout or breakdown. In this case, it was a breakdown. So I had the 400 puts at $3, and then went from $3 to $3.79 in that little dump. And then I grabbed calls at 10:03, which is this candle right here. thinking, okay, we had this big dump and it quickly came back up. As soon as I get over this area, I grabbed it. I grabbed the 406 calls at 365, and they didn't really go much. I was thinking we were gonna like rage and have a breakout, but because it was a fake out, I mean, luckily I sold it. They went from 365 to 393. You always get to anticipate. SPY has been doing this a lot lately, that if it does break out, a lot of the times it's a fake out, which means it wants to make it look like it's going to break out, and it quickly gets dumped on as soon as it tries to, or it does. So, um, yeah. Oh, yeah, I can see where I took my loss right here, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But yeah, we took it, the fake out right here, and we did manage to get out before it did, dump. So that's why when you're up and you're green, you sell into the strength, even if you're selling like 5, 10, 15, 20 cents. I try to like sell in 5-cent increments. To me, I just find it easier and faster, and then it is if it starts going against you, the time and sales, and the ticker starts going against you, or the options does, you need to start dump it at the break even so you don't take a loss. That's why you need to sell into strength, and not hope and hold, because that does not work in this market. So the only thing that works right now is that if you have a really bad put entry, that eventually does end up dumping and working out. But I'm not saying, nor will I ever say, to hold. You need to have your own risk management, have your own stops, do your own, make your own decisions. This is not financial advice. It never is, never will be. This is just my trading journey, or journal, whatever you want to call it. This is what I'm doing, and that's just why I have the room, and this is why I do what I'm doing, to share with you guys what I am doing. It's not financial advice whatsoever. I never will be. So make sure you take everything I post with a grain of salt and make your own decisions, and not blindly follow me. And it's also better just to understand what I'm doing. And that way you could see what I'm doing, and you can get in at the same time as me or before. Sometimes I even miss plays, and if I miss something, or I just decide, I'm not feeling it, you guys can take it, because you know what I'm doing and what I'm looking at and how I trade. So therefore you can just do it yourself and not even have to worry about if I'm taking it or not, because sometimes I just ignore plays because I'm not feeling it, time of day or whatever. So goddamn yippy dog next door, I'm gonna have to shut the door. But yeah, so then I ended up taking, let's see, what was the next play? Next play was 4,000 puts at 10.16, which is right here. As you can see, we caught this dump, popped back up, caught the fake breakout, and because it got shut down really, really quickly, I grabbed the puts right down here, the 4,000 puts at 680. And they went from 680 to 970. Let's see. Because I grabbed them right in here. I grabbed them again at 1025, which is right here. Yeah, so what happened is I grabbed them up in here. And when we had the dump, I actually sold into the dump. Then when it popped back up, I reloaded. So because it got shut down so hard, I got shut down here really hard, then it came back up, and I thought it was actually going to break out, and because it got shut down again, then this is why I took it. I probably ended up taking it right in here, because that makes more sense why I took it. Plus it went from 680 to 9 something. That would have been the play right there. And then when it popped back up, as you can see, it double bottomed right here. So I did sell into that. Then when it popped back up, I reloaded. I reloaded with the same thing, the 4,000 puts at 780. Then went from 780 to 38. Now I want to switch over to VIX, because I want to show you VIX, because VIX has been doing some interesting stuff all week long. Let me bring it down to the 10-minute. Was this the 9th right here? Yeah. VIX has been having, I've been noticing it's been holding in like right here. It's been double topping. It's resisting the double top. It's been double bottoming. It's, higher day double top. VIX has been, you see right here, another double top, then it dumps off, and right here it tries to bounce on the double bottom. Same thing right here, almost double topped right here and sold off, and right here almost a double bottom, a little bit of a divergence. But VIX has been like staying in a range, and when you look at, and VIX has been really laggy compared to SPY. So when SPY is dumping and VIX is not making new all-time high, it was starting to give you an indication that something was off, because I've been mentioning all week long that VIX has been acting really, really weird. But yeah, if you look at it, VIX has been, staying in a range and respecting the highs and the lows of the day. So you could have, just looked at VIX and timed the plays a little better instead of looking at SPY, which normally I would look at SPY, but once in a while I look at VIX. And the only reason I look at VIX is I look at VIX's levels, and I also like to try to see if VIX is diverging, not acting right. I mean, if SPY is making new lows and VIX is not making new highs, something's up. Or if SPY is making new highs and VIX is not making new lows, then something's up. But bearish divergence right there. I mean, yeah, bearish divergence towards SPY. So you gotta watch VIX and see if the price is correlating with the action you're seeing on SPY. And if it's not, like I said, if SPY is making new highs and VIX is not making new lows, then you need to start thinking that VIX is gonna pop, and no one is really selling VIX, so SPY is gonna end up dumping, or vice versa. If SPY is dumping and VIX is not making new lows, and get ready for a bounce at some point, because VIX is just not feeling the fear as SPY is dumping. So VIX is more apt to move down with SPY faster. Like if SPY is dropping, VIX will pop more, because when SPY is selling off, there's more fear in the market. VIX is the fear. It's a fear measuring tool. Well, actually volatility, but volatility and fear have the same thing. And so when SPY is selling off and VIX is not popping, then something's up. It's just probably not a real legitimate drop. So you gotta kind of like keep an eye on that. So getting really cotton mouth talking on so much. It's gonna end up being a long video. I can see it already. But let's see. Yeah, I took the puts 1025, which is right in here, right there. I took that. Then I took. I made a couple of dumb decisions this week, but I'll get to that when I get to it. I took. Let's see. More puts, but I took the 39.50 puts at 11.46, which is right here. Started the pop, drop, and then you can see right here. This goes back to what I've been saying over the past weeks. What they'll do is they'll give bulls a false sense of hope. They'll buy here thinking we're going to have a V rally, and then what they'll do is they'll dump it and take out stops before they actually make this move. So you can see right here, they consolidate a little bit. Bulls are probably jumping in, then they dump it to take out stops, and then see how you have the rally right here. This is what they end up doing. So you got to always watch for that. They love to take out stops and get people on the wrong side of the trade, then to get them to stop out, then actually rip it so they were right and end up taking a loss. So that I did fall for up here. But anyways, got the puts at 11.46, which is right here. You can see it pop back up, and as soon as it popped up, I think I grabbed it right down in here, and I sold into the lower day. So I had the 39.50 puts at $8.10. They went from $8.10 to $12.70. So that was a nice play. Then I switched to calls at 306, which is right here. Now the reason I did that, cup and handle. You get the cup and you get the handle, and it started to come up. I probably should have waited a little more up here. But the problem is with these cup and handle moves, that if you get it at this level right here, it's going to end up being a strong move because it's breaking it. But I got it right before it broke, and then it just crapped on me. So yeah, I had the 50 calls for $5, and then it just crapped on me, and then it took a loss. But yeah, no big deal. Have a huge cushion for the day, so that didn't bother me at all. But then I did switch to puts at 325, which is right here. No, right here, right in here. Got this nasty red candle right here. So as soon as that red candle printed, I grabbed the 4,000 puts. Lucky number 4,000. And I got the 4,000 puts at 490, and they went from 490 to $10 right there. 100% move. It doesn't take much, especially at the end of the day when you're at the money. They move very, very violently. So caught that move on the 10th, which was what, Tuesday. So yeah, this should have been a good play, but it is what it is. The cup and handle really looked like it was going to actually work out and pop, but it didn't, so whatever. Then Wednesday, Wednesday I played SPY all week, except I think I played Tesla at one point sometime, Thursday or Wednesday. Let's see. Yeah, this is we had numbers this day. What was it? We have to go back and see. What was Wednesday? CPI numbers. That's what it was. On the 11th. So yeah, we had CPI numbers, and this thing just gapped up, had a nice big gap up, and it took a massive dump right here at let's see, at 403. This is when the CPI numbers got me. You got 404 all the way down to 394. That's a $10 drop in 2 candles. That's ridiculous. So, and it started to come back up. And this is the one where I grabbed it open. It said SPY puts under 395, which 395 is right here. This candle right here. I didn't really not show really where to grab it because you had such a huge dropped and it popped up, and so I was kind of like looking in this area. I mean, it couldn't really, you can't say you're gonna grab calls at 404 after it's made a $10 drop and it's come up a little bit. You get such a massive range, you can't do that. And I was just like, yeah. So I took a chance and it popped it open. And as soon as this candle turned red, the first opening candle, as soon as it turned red, I grabbed it. So I grabbed the 396 it puts at 272. And they went from 272 to 312. So yeah, they opened up, popped a little bit, then it started to come back down. When it came back down and turned red, this is where I ended up buying it in this lower half of the candle. So that's why they went from 272 to 312. Then it came back up and bounced back up. It bounced back up, and I grabbed puts at 952 right here, as you can see. Had this massive candle right here from 396. We'll round up and say 397 to 4. We'll round up on this 403. So we had a $6 move in one candle, and we came right up into the, see right here where it's like having resistance right here in the 403 area. As soon as they hit 403, I grabbed 402 puts at 315, and they went from 315 to 429. I mean, that was such an exaggerated candle, and plus bad news. It was bad news, and this is what they like to do. Everyone piled in puts at open like us. I did too, because obviously it bounced up. But I don't know about other people, but me, I sold into that, and then they ripped it. Everyone's on one side. They're gonna rip it and stop everybody out. If you're not day trading and getting out, managing your risk and stuff like that, then you would have probably taken a hit on that if you were hoping for a new lower day and massive dump. Because I see a lot of people on stock twits that just do stupid things and hold for Lambo and all that stupid garbage. That's just such bullshit nonsense. I don't want anybody in my room trading like that, because that's the dumbest thing you can ever do. Just play the price action, take your money, and work on timing and stuff like that. And you should have been out if you, like I was right here, before this even popped. But yeah, everyone got piled in on puts right at open, and that's when they dropped it. Probably get more people piled in puts instead of taking their money hoping for a new lower day, and then it rips on them and you have this massive green candle on, and everyone gets stopped out and takes a huge loss because everyone is focused on the bad numbers and SPY should be going to whatever, and not realizing that everyone is on one side and they're going to squeeze you out or flush you out depending on the direction, and then they actually end up doing it. So like right here, they
flushed out all the puts. Everyone piled and they flushed them out. They popped it. Then they end up dumping it later in the day. That's why you need to play the action you see, not what you want. Market will keep you humble every time. But yeah, grabbed it right here, 403. Sold them. The 402 puts, I mean, yeah, I got about the 403 level. 402 puts at 315, and then for 315 in that little drop. Then I bought calls at 1021, which is right here. Now, even though, you know, SPY had bad news, and we've seen it a number of times throughout years and years, that when SPY puts out bad news, SPY always looks at things in a silver lining, like last FOMC. FOMC, SPY ripped. It had a 50 basis point increase, a rate increase, and it ripped. And then they said we're going to get 50 more points next two FOMC meetings, which is really bad news because they were just a small percentage. They just went from small to highly probable. Like, I don't remember what the percentages were. If I had to guess, it's probably like more like 20%. Then it jumped to like 50 or 60, which is huge when the market starts looking at things like that. But the market caught wind that while it's only going to be 50, it's not going to be 75. For some reason, the market, I never even heard the 75 basis point rate increase, and then somehow the market just dreamed that up, that, oh, it's, even though we're going to be 50 basis points guaranteed the next two times, or almost guaranteed the next two times, as long as it's not 75, we're good. So the market was looking at the silver lining, looking at, yeah, it's bad, but it could have been worse scenario, and it ended up ripping. So just because something's bad doesn't mean the market will take it's bad, and you can say, oh, it's not as bad, it could have been worse. You know, SPY does it all the time. It's kind of stupid, but you know, it does do that, and that's why you need to like be aware of things like that. So when it came up here, we got this drop right here. It quickly came back up. I thought we were going to break out, which it did break out of this area. So I had the 404 calls at 1021, which is right here. As soon as it broke out over this area, I got the I got them at $2, and they went from $2 to $2.70 in that little pop. So then I ended up grabbing puts at 1116, which is right 1116. Right, wait. $11.16. I'm gonna have to break this down to actually see, because I can't really see what I did right there. 11.16. Where are you? Oh, I got it right at the break of this area. Okay. Yeah, I had the 400 puts at 11.16, so I caught it right during this candle. And they went from, let's say, 203 to 257. So they actually went almost 50. They went over 50 cents right here. So yeah, I got them right there. 11.16. So let me go back to the 10-minute. Couldn't really see it on the 10-minute. That's why you need to make sure I get the right day here. Yeah, I got the break of the VWAP right here. Then I ended up grabbing, let's see, SPX 4,000 puts at 1146, which I think is up here. Yeah, right up in here. Right here at this 403 level again. That's been getting slammed now. I got slammed right here, and this is the third time. I think I waited down here. Yeah, I did. 1146. So I grabbed it probably down in here. And the 4,000 puts I got at $8.20. They went from $8.20 to $15.90. And it'll pop back up right here, and let's see, yeah, because I got it here. They went down here almost 100%, close to 100%. Then I grabbed the other puts, 39.80 at 12.29, which is this candle right here. Actually, no, I grabbed it. Yeah, grabbed it with this candle right here. So see the double bottom right here, triple right here, and then when it hit here, it bounced up. A pretty massive bounce. Then it came back down, and right when it got below here, this is where I ended up grabbing it. I grabbed the 39.80 puts at 9.20, and they went from 9.20 to $42. on that dump. Then I ended up grabbing, let's see, 39.70 puts at 246, which is right here. The 200 EMA, 20 EMA, which is this blue line, right when it rejected it. See how price got so far away from it? And it's testing it. We did test it right here. What time did I grab it? 246. So I didn't grab it right there. I did reject it the first time. I probably should have taken it right there. Then it came back down, tested it, rejected it, held it, tried to pop. And when it came back down, this is where I grabbed it. The 39.70 puts at $7.70, and then went from 7.70 to 22 on that dump. So that was a nice play. Had 7 wins that day. And what, Wednesday the 11th? Yeah. Now on, let's see, Thursday. I think this is where I made some dumb decisions. Oh no, it was Friday. I thought it was Thursday. So let's see. I took Tesla at open. Keeping just picks up, I don't care. I said in the trade ideas room on the the 12th. I didn't say anything about Tesla in the trade ideas room. I just said SPY calls over 392. But I took Tesla calls at 947. And I'll show you why. 947. Right here. Tesla, I mean, it's just been getting crapped on, obviously with SPY dumping, and you see right here it dumped and it came back up. I grabbed it right when it was breaking out, and it pulled back. Then it did end up breaking out. I ended up selling it in this candle, but there was some people in the room that actually held it and did very well on that. So yeah, I got the 750 calls at 680, and then went to $20 if he held all the way through. But yeah, as soon as it dropped back down and it came back up at this point in time, what was SPY doing? I'll switch this over to see what SPY was doing at this point. SPY was doing pretty much the same thing. Yeah, it dropped back down. Yeah, it's like doing exactly what SPY was doing. That's what SPY calls over 392. 392 is right up here. This top of this candle right in here. It's a pivot. You can see it resisted here, rejection here, resistance here. I mean, then support. So it's a pivot right in here. But yeah, like I said, because I said SPY calls about 392, it dropped right here. You could have used it for this breakout, and that's what I ended up doing. But I didn't do it on SPY. I did it with Tesla. I almost said Roku for some reason. Yeah, let me just blow this back up. So yeah, I took it here. They went from what, 750 calls went from 680 to $20. So that was a nice little move, especially if you held all the way through. I ended up selling, I think, probably in the 7 or 8s. It doesn't take much for Tesla. Tesla actually went in the money too. Like, same thing. Every time I pick Tesla, it goes and ends up going in the money. But anyways, they move so fast. Moves like SPX a lot of the time. So yeah, these small little moves right there doesn't look like much. Tesla moved $2 or $3, even $4 on a move like that. So that's why I like to play it. I don't like to play at the beginning of the week because you have to buy so far out of the money. They're so expensive, and I'm not paying $20, $30 per contract. That's ridiculous. I'm all set with that. There's other things to play. And I mean, when you play SPX, you don't really go back. So then I end up playing SPY calls. Let's see, at 10:08, just right here. We caught Tesla here, pulled back, then it came back up to rip again, and it broke over this area right here, then 391. That's where I ended up grabbing at 393 calls at 295, and they went from 295 to 460. Then I ended up grabbing puts at 1034, which is right here. Now, why did I grab it? Let me back this out a little bit. Yeah, I think I grabbed it right here because, oh yeah, I see it right here. The previous day right here. As soon as as soon as it tried to break out and it came back down, this is where I grabbed the 387 puts at 260, 234. No, I grabbed it right here. I didn't grab it in this candle. I grabbed it in this candle. Oh, this is the one I took a loss on. Yeah, I grabbed it right here. And this is a Thursday, right? The 12th? Because Friday was the 13th. Yeah, it's a non-expiration day. And I stopped out. This is the ones I wish I didn't stop out on. Yeah, I stopped out on this one because this was a loss. This was my second loss for the week. I grabbed it down here, it looks like, right in this area. It makes sense that I grabbed it right down in here because you get the candle wicked. I mean, I could have grabbed it in this candle, but it makes more sense that I would have grabbed it down here or in here. So, yeah, I grabbed the 387, put the 260, then it popped. I mean, it popped and it came back down, then it popped again. Then I ended up stopping out right here. And I was worried that this was the day that it was going to have that $12 run and make that insane run and just go bonkers in it. And it didn't. Well, I mean, it made a little bit of a pop, but it didn't. I ended up stopping out literally right in here somewhere. Then it popped a little more, then it dumped, and it went green. So a little annoyed about that, but whatever. It is what it is. But I did end up grabbing puts again. Let's see, at 12.27, which is right 12.27. Where are you? I didn't grab any of it right there. I should have, but I think I was a little annoyed that I stopped out and it dumped again. So, but yeah. Plus, I was looking at it down here, but I felt like if I grabbed it down here, that it was on VWAP, it was going to bounce, and it was a trap, and I didn't grab it, and I probably should have, but it is what it is. Then it popped back up, but I did grab it at 12.07, which is right 12.27, right here. Yeah, I grabbed it right. Looks like I probably grabbed it right at their VWAP rejection area, and it popped a little bit, then it came back down. So yeah, I grabbed the 388 puts at 245, then went from 245 to 527 in that drop. So I did at least grab that. Then I ended up grabbing calls at 318, which is right here. Same thing as I said earlier, starting to get that U-shaped look right here. You can see it's making kind of a U shape, and then you wait to an area where you get all these candles right here. I mean, you could have gone down here, but down here it's more risky, but up here it's a lot more safer, even though the 20 EMA is right there. But the price didn't get too far away from it. I mean, it kind of chopped. It's right there, so it's highly likely it's going to break. It's the areas where they're really away from the 20 EMA you need to worry about, but since it's right there, I wasn't too worried about it. Grabbed the 390 calls at 250 right here. Get the U, get these candles right here. This is where I ended up grabbing it, right in here, around the 387.50-ish area. I got the 390 calls at 250, and they went from 250 to 369 in that pop. So 4 wins, 1 loss on that day. I wasn't too worried. Then from Friday the 13th, these kind of days, I kind of played a little cautiously, even though I did some more reckless things. But Friday the 13th for me ends up being good luck for some weird, unknown reason, but it is what it is. So, trade ideas room, SPY calls over 398, and I took SPY calls at 951. Waited for the first 10-minute candle. Actually, for looks like the first couple candles, so I got a 951. So I waited for right up here, the 398 to break, just like I said in trade ideas room. Came back down. I mean, I could have grabbed it right here, but you also get to look at it from the perspective that it gapped up from 392 to 398. So you have a $6 gap up. Very possible it could be a fake out and come back up to pre-market highs and just dump. So I was a little cautious about that, but I did grab it. I grabbed the 398 calls at 246, and they went from 246 to wait a minute here. went to 246. What? Yeah, they went from I had a massive typo. Let me just double check this. Yeah, 246 to 439 in that pop right there. So then I ended up buying 4,000 puts at 11.11, which is right. Oh, I played this little channel. I remember playing this. 11.11 right here is where I grabbed it. As you can see, it's wicking right here. Blow it up a little more. It's wicking. It's wicking. And I grabbed it right in this candle right here. It's like it's flat. It definitely is an ascended triangle, but I was looking at it from the point of view that it's going to get shut down. So I grabbed the 4,000 puts at 1270. And they went from 1270 to 14, so that's a $2 move. It'd be stupid not to take it. Then I kept reloading every time it popped. It popped up here. I grabbed it again at 1134, which is right here. And I got them at $10 this time, and they went from $10 to $12, so another $2 move. Then it popped again. I grabbed, let's see, 4,000 puts at 1244, which is okay. I grabbed it here and I waited an hour. 1244 right here, this candle right here, right in here is where I grabbed it. Popped up, came back down. I thought about it right here, but I didn't take it yet. It had this green candle and it looked like it was gonna like it pop, come back, and it was gonna pop more. So, but when it didn't, it came back underneath. This is where I grabbed the 4,000 puts. This time at $5, and they went from $5 to 970 in that little drop right there. Then it popped up. I reloaded again at 104, which is right here in this candle. So I sold from here to here. Popped up, reloaded. Got them at 590 this time, and they went from 590 to $27. Then I ended up grabbing puts at let's see, 228. It was 228 right here. I grabbed it right here. Now I gotta look at the time in the, because I added okay, I added at 232. So yeah, I got them down here, 228, which is right. Oh yeah, okay. I got them right down in here. Initially, I got the 39.70 puts at $9. Now I have to remember correctly. I think I had 5, and I added 35 more or 40 more. I don't remember, but I added quite a bit more. So I had bought them at $9 down here. When it came back up here, it got up here. I bought a bunch more. So when I got them at $9, I added more at $4, making my average at 463. So they ended up going from 463 to 620 on that drop. So that was a nice little play. I probably should have waited, but oh yeah, I think I grabbed him right here. No, 228. No, I grabbed him right here. Okay, yeah, I was looking at him here because the retracement bounced up. But yeah, I grabbed him in this candle and it popped, and I grabbed more up here. I probably shouldn't average down on a expiration day, but I did. So yeah, they went from 463 to 620. So using this VWAP, 33, 37, 20 EMA. 37 EMA is this white line, VWAP's the dotted, and 20 is the blue line. And when I got up in here, this is where I added a bunch more, and I would have taken it off quickly if it went against me, but it did go from 463 to 620. Then I ended up buying more puts at 334, which is right, not 334. I'm looking at the loud 255, which is right here. Now, the reason I got it here, you can see right here, this is where it's been broke down. Kind of, you can see like a possible, like a kind of like a head and shoulders a little bit. If you can see left head and a little bit of a light right shoulder, slopey right shoulder. But when it came back up here, I thought for sure it was back testing this 401 area, for 450-ish area, and I grabbed it right there, kind of blindly, I guess you could say. I grabbed the 4,000 puts again at 740, and it went against me, and I pretty much was counting it a big loss. Not a big loss. Counting it as a loss would have been a big loss. I still would have been green for the day. But yeah, I considered it a loss at this point. And when it got back up here to the double top at the 402.50-ish area, I was like, okay, you know, it's at $1.15. And then I was calculating when it was getting up in this area. I was running the numbers, looking ahead of time. Like, okay, if I bought a bunch more, um, how many cons would I? Because I had 10 cons I think at this point in time, on this play, and then I was like, okay, if I add 90 more, how much is that going to give me? How much is 100 more going to give me? And I needed to make sure that if I average down, because I'm at 740, and at this point in time, SPY SPX's options is trading around $1.50 at this point in time. Because I remember looking. And, so I was like, okay, if I get 100 contracts, I'll be within, 50, 60, 70 cents of the price. But the thing is, it needs to move. So when it came up to this close to double topping, I bought a bunch more, about 100 more contracts at $1.15, and brought my 740 average to 172, because I had 10 added 100, bringing it down to 172. And then it dumped. So yeah, they ended up going from 172 to 430, and that was really crazy how I managed to end up timing that almost perfectly. But technically, the more ideal trade was if you grabbed it up here at the double top. I was way out of the money. Just to give you an idea, let's see, I'll bring SPX over here. Blow it up. Because 4,000 puts is right down here, and you're talking the last half an hour, so they were practically worthless over here. And because this massive red candle right here, I was able to get out and get a nice win out of that, even though I was considered a loss. I just did a Hail Mary, I guess you could say, at the double top. But I was so far out of the money. But if you actually weren't in it already and you took it up here on closer at the money, those probably would have gone 300, 400, 500%. Because if at the money probably would have been around $5, and that drop right there probably would have sent them to $20, $25 instead of being down in the $1 range and only getting $4. So I'm not going to complain. A win is a win. But if it timed it better and got closer at the money, they would have gone definitely to probably $20 plus if I had to look. But it is what it is. So that was the week. That was the trades. Kind of a crazy day Friday. Crazy week. Very good week. And looking forward to next week. Hopefully be just as volatile and be even better, hopefully. So with that said, I hope the recap has helped you and understand the mentality, the thought process, and everything else. So hope to see you in the room. Thanks for watching.